There is a path each one of us must walk. It is a rugged road, often marked by trials that shake the very foundations of our spirit. Yet, we are not alone. This path, laden with adversity, is the crucible that molds us into something stronger, something more profound. It is within the very fires of suffering that we are refined. It is not an easy journey, but it is a necessary one that calls upon our deepest reserves of inner strength, self-control, and fortitude. Together we walk it as equals, bound by the same fundamental truths of existence. Adversity is not our enemy, it is our greatest teacher. It reveals who we truly are. The Stoics knew this well, and in their teachings they offered us a roadmap, not just to endure suffering, but to embrace it, to transform it into the very fuel that powers our growth. In embracing adversity, we do not lose ourselves. We find the truest version of ourselves. We strip away the trivialities and illusions that cloud our minds, revealing a core of indomitable will and clarity. To understand the surprising benefits of embracing adversity, we must first delve into the nature of the self. We are not defined by the circumstances of our lives, but by how we respond to those circumstances. Seneca, the Stoic philosopher, wisely said, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body." The trials we face are not there to defeat us, they exist to elevate us. This is the paradox of adversity. It feels as though it is breaking us, but in truth it is building us into something more resilient, more steadfast, more free. The forge of adversity, a crucible for character. When we encounter hardships, we are given a choice. We can resist, lament, and allow ourselves to be consumed by our emotions, or we can embrace the challenge, understanding that adversity is a test of our character. Marcus Aurelius, one of the great Stoic emperors, reminds us, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Herein lies the central message of Stoicism. Adversity is not an obstacle, but an opportunity. We must learn to see adversity as the forge in which our character is tempered. Like a sword strengthened by the fire, our will and our virtue are fortified by the trials we endure. It is in our moments of greatest hardship that our true strength is revealed. But this is not a passive process. We do not simply wait for adversity to mold us. No, we engage with it actively, using our self-control and fortitude to shape ourselves into the person we aspire to be. This requires a deep understanding of our emotions. Too often, we are swept away by destructive emotions, anger, fear, despair, that cloud our judgment and weaken our resolve. But the Stoic path teaches us to master these emotions, not by denying them, but by recognizing their impermanence. Epictetus, another great Stoic thinker, said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." The events of life are beyond our control, but our reactions to them are fully within our power. This mastery over our emotions is one of the greatest gifts of embracing adversity. When we learn to remain calm in the face of hardship, we free ourselves from the tyranny of our emotions. We become unshakable, rooted in our inner strength. This is not to say that we become cold or indifferent. On the contrary, we become more compassionate, more understanding, because we recognize that suffering is a universal experience. In mastering our own emotions, we can offer a steady hand to others as they face their own trials. Adversity as a path to inner peace. At first glance, it may seem counterintuitive to claim that adversity can lead to inner peace. How can hardship, pain, and suffering bring us tranquility? The answer lies in the Stoic belief that true peace comes not from external circumstances, but from within. We do not find peace by avoiding adversity. We find it by accepting it, by realizing that our sense of peace is not dependent on a life free from suffering, but on our ability to remain centered and unperturbed in the face of it. Seneca wrote, "True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future." When we stop resisting adversity, when we accept it as a natural and necessary part of life, we free ourselves from the constant anxiety of trying to control what is beyond our reach. We stop wasting our energy on wishing things were different, and instead focus on what we can control, our thoughts, our actions, and our attitudes. This is where inner peace is found, not in the absence of adversity, but in our ability to navigate it with grace and wisdom. In this way, adversity becomes a gift. It teaches us to let go of our attachments to things that are fleeting, wealth, status, comfort, and to find contentment in the things that truly matter, virtue, wisdom, and inner strength. The Stoics remind us that everything external is temporary, subject to change and loss. But our inner world, our character, is something we can cultivate and strengthen, no matter what life throws at us. The power of resilience, turning suffering into strength. Adversity, when embraced, becomes a source of power. It teaches us resilience, the ability to bounce back from hardship, stronger and wiser than before. It is not just about enduring suffering, it is about transforming it into something positive. As Marcus Aurelius wrote in Meditations, the mind adapts and converts to its own purposes the obstacle to our acting. This is the essence of resilience, the ability to take the very thing that threatens to destroy us and use it as the foundation for our growth. This is not a passive acceptance of suffering, it is an active process of transformation. We do not simply endure hardship, we use it. We let it sharpen our minds, fortify our wills, and deepen our compassion. In doing so, we turn adversity into an ally, a source of strength rather than a source of despair. We must also recognize that resilience is not a solitary endeavor. We do not face adversity alone. As we walk the path of hardship, we walk it together. Our struggles are shared, and our victories are communal. There is a profound sense of unity in embracing adversity as a collective journey. We lift each other up, offering support and encouragement, knowing that our strength is multiplied when we stand together. As Epictetus reminds us, we are not disturbed by things, but by the views we take of them. When we see adversity not as a curse but as a shared challenge, we can face it with greater courage and determination. Self-control, the Stoic weapon against destructive emotions. In the face of adversity, it is easy to be overwhelmed by emotions. Fear, anger, frustration, they rise within us like a storm, threatening to sweep us away. But the Stoics teach us that self-control is our greatest weapon against these destructive emotions. We cannot avoid feeling them, but we can choose how we respond to them. We can choose not to be ruled by them. Self-control is not about repression, it is about mastery. It is about understanding our emotions, acknowledging them, and then deciding how we will act. The Stoics believed that emotions are the result of our judgments about the world. When we change our judgments, we change our emotions. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." When we practice self-control, we free ourselves from the power of destructive emotions. We become calm, clear-headed, and capable of making wise decisions even in the midst of chaos. This is the essence of Stoic fortitude, the ability to remain unshaken by the storms of life, grounded in our inner strength. Fortitude, the key to overcoming adversity. If self-control is the weapon, then fortitude is the shield. It is the unyielding strength that allows us to face adversity with courage and perseverance. Fortitude is not about never feeling fear or doubt. It is about continuing to move forward despite those feelings. It is the inner resolve to endure hardship without complaint, to keep going even when the path is steep and the way unclear. Fortitude is what allows us to turn adversity into an opportunity for growth. It is what enables us to push through pain and suffering, knowing that on the other side lies a deeper sense of purpose and meaning. As Seneca wrote, "A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials." Our trials are not something to be avoided. They are the very thing that perfects us. We must cultivate fortitude if we are to embrace adversity. This means developing a mindset that welcomes challenges, that sees hardship not as something to be feared, but as something to be embraced. It means training our minds to remain focused on what we can control, to let go of what we cannot, and to trust in our ability to navigate whatever comes our way. Overcoming destructive emotions, the Stoic path to freedom. At the heart of Stoicism is the belief that we are not slaves to our emotions. We have the power to overcome them, to rise above them, and to act from a place of reason and wisdom. This is not an easy task, but it is a liberating one. When we master our emotions, we free ourselves from their tyranny. We become the masters of our own fate, no longer tossed about by the whims of fortune. The Stoics believe that destructive emotions arise from our attachments to things that are beyond our control. When we let go of these attachments, we free ourselves from the suffering they cause. This is not a call to apathy or indifference, it is a call to true freedom. As Epictetus wrote, "Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. When we embrace adversity, we learn to let go of our attachments to comfort, security, and external success. We learn to find our strength within, to rely on our own inner resources rather than on the fleeting and unstable circumstances of life. This is the path to true freedom, the freedom to face any challenge with courage, to endure any hardship with grace, and to live a life of purpose and meaning, no matter what obstacles we encounter. Conclusion: the surprising gift of adversity. As we walk the path of adversity, we discover a surprising truth. The very thing we feared, the thing we thought would break us, becomes our greatest source of strength. It is through adversity that we learn who we truly are. It is through adversity that we cultivate the virtues of self-control, fortitude, and wisdom. It is through adversity that we find the freedom to live a life of meaning and purpose, unshaken by the storms of life. We are not alone on this journey. We walk it together, as brothers and sisters, bound by the same challenges and the same opportunities for growth. Let us embrace adversity, not with fear, but with courage and resolve. Let us see it not as an enemy, but as an ally in our quest for inner peace and freedom. And let us remember the words of Marcus Aurelius: "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." In the end, adversity is not something to be feared or avoided. It is a gift, a surprising gift, that offers us the opportunity to become the person we were meant to be. Let us embrace it, and in doing so, let us find our true strength,